Hey everybody,
Hey.
we've made it to April. At least the reading. We haven't lived April yet, but this is our universal agenda for April.
2020.
We are smack dab in the middle of March right now. I haven't had my birthday yet, which is on the 26th. Things are weird. I remember distinctly saying that predictions were wild for March. Do you? Did you watch that one? Okay. What I couldn't put into words was this feeling of ultimate change. And that is exactly what we're continuing the trend of this year. This is a life-changing event. We're not going to be going back to the same old life as we knew it. We're not having an apocalypse in the way that is doom and gloom. Apocalypse means uncovering of what was hidden. Like in another occult term, it's an opening of the eyes. We are opening our eyes to new ways of living in many, many ways. So I wrote down the transits and a little bit about them. I'll try my best to describe what's going on. I did it in order of like I feel importance instead of like the transits as they happen, right. Just more like in level of importance. But I'll still have the dates like written down instead. So what we're dealing with on April 4th, the very beginning of April, I believe that's a Saturday. Jupiter will be conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, and this is the most dominant transit of the month because these are slow moving planets. They're on the outer, and when we have outer planets, that has the most gravity as far as how we see the trickle down effect of the as above so below on Earth. So we'll be feeling and seeing this. It's like what it is we'll be seeing the expression of the coronavirus in business, the business world, and growing sense of abundant caution, as Molly McCord was saying in her weekly transit this week. I really liked the idea of that, the way she said that. It's like not just abundance of caution, but this Jupiter conjunct Pluto is an expansion of feeling of dying. Okay, this is not fun. This is expansion, and this is growing, and this is like a rebirth situation, but transformation has never once felt awesome. This is happening in Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn rules the bones, so I'm using this as a metaphor. Bones hurt when we have growth spurts, and this is exactly that transit. So we'll be feeling a growth spurt, a new change, like a feeling of maybe a death to how we feel, how things we feel like should be progressing. Our idea of grind and success and grind might be broken. We might find success in other ways that are a little bit more intangible, that doesn't make quite sense to the rules of the world that we've been operating with. It's probably going to suck, like I said, right down here. It says it'll probably suck. It'll probably suck, especially for those who haven't experienced acute spiritual awakenings previously. And there's many of us, myself included, that have since 2012 been waking up and already dealt with a great deal of these feelings of being in a hermitage situation where you're sequestered from people. You had no outer contact with folks. You've had your processing of major anxieties and already come out on the other side. And then there's the rest of the world that's catching up with us. So I'm not saying that we're better. We just sped through it at a different rate so that we're present for the moment. And we can be holding space for the people who haven't yet dealt with this. So this is a very important time for us empaths, our light and shadow workers, whatever you call yourself. It doesn't really matter as long as you're staying towards your mission, what your calling is, what your spirit is telling you your role is going to be getting louder and louder in your ears. Let's keep going. Okay, April 10, Mercury moves into Aries and we'll meet with the wounded healer, Chiron, and Black Moon Lilith, bringing a mental awareness to early traumas and the pain that still exists in memories and our physical bodies. So we're going to be met with excruciating awareness. It doesn't have to be painful, but there's a good chance it could swing that way, is what I'm trying to say. This is a feeling of feeling like you want to go 90 miles an hour in your mind, but feeling a little bit wounded. Like it's like you want to run a mile, but your ankle is sprained, and there's something that you need to pay attention to in order to double back. And so it's not progress as normal like we want.
It's like needing to go somewhere and you have a flat tire.
So you have to take time to heal that, and find ways of identifying yourself in a new way where it's not success bound, it's not forward moving bound, it's something that you find in each moment. So again, Lilith will inspire the feminine to cut down any resistance between her and her intuition. We will be getting a sense of who we are within this new normal and what our boundaries will create in action. So we'll be saying no to things that we I don't want to say that we haven't previously said no to, but we're more likely to stand by what we truly feel at this moment, whether people around us like it or not. I'm not exactly happy that my dad broke curfew today just to get toilet paper we didn't necessarily need because it worries me, but it's his prerogative. He's a grown man. So, again, like, these are the boundaries that we have to figure out. Like, we have to figure out each to our own what our boundaries are going to be creating and enduring. So as April 27 comes around, we have Mercury entering Taurus. We will have identified ourselves and claimed our space in this new society. When Mercury moves through Taurus, it will make a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus, which will be a restructuring of our identities in a way that we will be tested to see if we stand by our new sets of values that we have just created with Mercury and Aries. And throughout Jupiter conjunct Pluto this whole month, we're going to just be in a deep examination of things that are worth our time, worth our thoughts, worth our energy. It's like, we're not necessarily in survival mode, but we are being very selective as to what we pay attention to, what we put our energies towards, and what really means satisfaction for us is changing entirely. So as we continue with the month, it's actually kind of backwards. It's like it bounces between dates. So we'll be having the moon lunations on April 7th with the full moon in Libra. On April 22nd, the moon in Taurus will be happening, which will join at that point. Mercury will be in Taurus. So we'll be having a new moon in Taurus with Mercury and Uranus in Taurus. So we'll be talking about that later. Taurus season begins on April 19 when the sun moves into the sign of the sacred bull. It will make a conjunction with Uranus towards the end of the month as well. More stock market shakeups probably, or individuals could experience this as unexpected wealth, gifts, or unconventional jobs being provided to us out of the blue.
I like the sound of that.
It's not necessarily all doom and gloom and bad, but the thing is with Uranus energy and all these connections to Taurus is that it's going to be unpredictable, and Taurus energy absolutely hates that. But that's what we're dealing with. We cannot necessarily sit here at the beginning of a month and know exactly what's going to happen. We can only discuss the elements that are going to be at play, or the energies, the types of things that we're going to see. We'll be dealing with earth energy. We'll be dealing with fire energy. So at the moment, that's our main dominant thing, is fire and earth. So fire is not just the light of fire as it burns like a striking of a match. It is the light of knowing and spiritual enlightenment. So we'll be dealing with really deep levels of awakening on all levels. This is going to be uncomfortable. One of my favorite people in the world, he's a physical therapist, and he when he runs into patients that they need to work through some pain with, and he always looks them in the eye and gets real with them and say, we're gonna have to do this and it's gonna hurt. There's no way we can do this and have it not hurt, but we're going to be beginning the healing process right now. Are you cool with that? That's gonna fall.
Yeah, I know. My phone's ringing too.
Okay, right, hold on. The world's falling. Okay.
God. Well, I totally missed that call, so that's okay. Probably not important. Anyways.
Watch it be important.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Okay, anyways. So, the best fishing days this month are going to be April 1st through the 7th, and then the 22nd through the 31st. Planting above ground crops, that is going to be April 1st and 2nd, along with April 27th and 28th. Planting below ground crops, that is going to be April 9th and 10th. Then we have the best time for haircuts and hair coloring. The haircuts is to encourage growth, and that would be April 23rd and the 24th. If you are into brewing beer, cider, those kinds of things, the best days for that would be April 9th and 10th. And then if you are trying to quit smoking, April 3rd and 13th are the best days. These are all based by the moon and the planets, and this information can be found on the Old Farmer's Almanac. And then just want to kind of touch base that Easter will be happening on Sunday, April 12th. That will be just 5 days after the full moon, which she had mentioned happens on April 7th. Okay, and maybe you guys know this, maybe you guys don't. But the way that the day Easter is placed on is actually picked by, it's the first Sunday following the full moon just after the spring equinox. And actually, as we're recording this, today is the spring equinox, March 19th. So that's how they choose what Sunday Easter is going to be placed on. It's actually by the moon. So
That's what's up.
who knew? That information was also found on the Old Farmer's Almanac. But I feel like let's get into the card blessing.
Sage up the cards a little bit.
Yes.
It's not easy to sit here as somebody who's been called to deliver messages and have a bunch of heavy energy to deliver. I want to let you know that nobody's exempt from these up and down, yo-yoing emotions of panic and anxiety. Only the difference is some of us have skills that we've gotten to learn ahead of time to cope with the ups and downs of this. And we've had major insecurities in our lives. Cats might start fighting. Hold on. Hey. 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 Indica. Hey.
He's ignoring him.
Hey. Stop. Okay. Problem solved. So as we get into the card blessing, I, again, especially ask Spirit to go ahead and remove our egos, especially more than usual. And we ask you to participate with your deities of choice, your energies, your ancestors, your teams on the other side, any energies that you feel like inviting with us to the reading to help cultivate the right energy to come out of whatever delivery that you need. Hopefully that we can deliver the messages clearly, concisely, using the right words and the right emotions to get the point across. And
absolutely.
That everybody gets the dosage of reality that everybody really needs right now. Don't do it. Sorry about that, guys. These cats, they like to fuck with each other.
At this point, we are going to get into the April readings for you guys. So,
Don't do it.
we will see you on the other side.
Yeah, we will definitely be we'll be with you. So let's keep going.
Alrighty, guys. We will see you in the card readings.
Bye.
Bye.